What is a hoarding overhaul and how do you become part of it? If your life has gotten completely out of control and your stuff has gotten completely out of control, maybe it's time for you to have a hoarding overhaul. I'm Angela Brown and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question and I get to help you find an answer. If you have a question, go to askahousecleaner.com. Right there in the bottom corner is a blue button. When you click on that, a microphone appears. You start talking to me, and then it comes right to me here at the show. Now, there's a caller that called in and asked this question.
Hello, my name is PJ. I have a client that has a hoarder house, hoarder yard, and hoarder huge garage that needs to be cleaned out. They don't have the funds to do that. I'm wondering if you know of a company or something that can assist in that. I will say the house has had the electricity turned off because the fire department says it's unsafe due to the hoarding issue. Thank you.
All right, what I recommend in this situation is a hoarding overhaul. And you're not going to like what I have to say, so brace yourself, don't judge it, just sit and listen to it. And then as you work through it in your head, you'll say, wait a second, this might work for me. Okay, this is just one of the many solutions. All right, so a hoarding overhaul is this. I have to stop and back up for a second and say that most hoarders, and this is based on 30 years in the industry, running into all kinds of hoarding homes, knowing lots of hoarders, the thing that I know about hoarders is this, and this is my own observation, and I'm finding it's very, very accurate. There are people who live in hoarding situations or they have hoarding tendencies that will go to the ends of the earth for other people, but they do not do for themselves, okay? So they would go to someone else's house and they would clean someone else's house, yet they will not clean their own. Why is that? I don't know. But I do know that they would go to the end of the earth for someone else. Here's why the hoarding overhaul works. All right, so what you do is you go to Facebook, create a Facebook group, Hoarding Overhaul with your city name. So if you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, Hoarding Overhaul, Charlotte, North Carolina, okay? You create a group that then draws in people in your area. And what's cool about this is Facebook has this fancy algorithm where once you create the group, it will start finding people that has similar interests to you. So if the concepts and the talk in your group is about hoarding overhaul, and I would use those two words, hoarding overhaul, what happens is this, Facebook will start bringing to you people that are also hoarders. Again, these are people that will give you the shirt off their back and they will help you, okay? So what we need their help to help us get out of our hoarding situations with the reciprocity that we will help them get out of their situations, okay? So on Saturday and Sunday of every week, what happens is you go to one day one person, one day the next person, okay? And you work your way around the group. So if there are 8 people in the group, then once a month, everyone comes to your house. Once a month, you go to everyone's house if there are 8 people in the group. If there are 16 people in a group, it might take a little bit longer. But what happens is everyone in the group gets a team of people that comes to their house on the weekends. And this is the cool part because we are attached to our own stuff. And we don't want to get rid of our own stuff, but other people will come in and they go, well, that's just a paper plate. No reason you should have a paper plate. Let me throw away the paper plate. And they will get rid of stuff that you just left for whatever reason, right? We get too busy to move our own stuff, but other people will come in and they'll go, oh, I know what to do with this. This is a dish. This goes in the kitchen sink. What you do is this. You break up into teams. And so there's a team that only specializes in dishes. That's all they do. They do paper cups, they do soda cans, they do water bottles, they do napkins that you used for a meal, pizza boxes, food, dishes, all that kind of stuff. That's all they do. They don't deal with laundry, they don't deal with trash, they don't deal with mail, they don't deal with anything else, just the dishes, okay? So when they come to a house, and it's the same team, when they come, all they do in everyone's house every other week or whenever the rotation works, is they just go in and they knock out the dishes. But what that means to them is in order for me to do my job, I need to show up with a bunch of garbage bags. I'm going to be throwing away a lot of paper cups and paper plates and paper bowls and big gulp cups and soda cans and stuff like that. So they start bringing that stuff with them because that's their job and they end up knowing that specialty. The next person might be focused only on laundry. And so if you have 2 adults in your house, but you have children's clothing, the children have obviously grown, you don't need those anymore. And so what's going to happen is they're going to come in because they recognize the situation, right? Hoarders understand hoarders. And so what happens is they'll come in and they'll say, oh, I know exactly what to do with these clothes. And they'll make piles, and then you'll have a disposal pile that just goes to the dump. You have one that goes to the landfill, one that goes to the consignment store, one that goes to the thrift store. There might be things like that. And so they get really good at doing the clothes at every single person's house. It's clothing, it's laundry, it's linens, it's extra towels, onesies that don't match anything, all that kind of stuff. And they will deal with that. And so my focus is to have a group that becomes like this really tight-knit group of friends that instead of saying, well, I'm really ashamed, I don't want anyone to see my house, they all have houses just like yours. And if you're still really ashamed and it's your week, you can sit back a week and just say, hey, can you cycle back to me next week? I'm uncomfortable this week. Let's focus on someone else's house. You go out and help that other person that week. And then on your week, or when they cycle back around to you, then it's your week and everyone gets to help you clean. All right, so the cool part about it is this. I recommend personal protective equipment for everyone on every one of those jobs. So what that is a face mask that's going to be your gloves just for personal protective reasons. I also recommend that everyone show up with a roll of garbage bags. Everyone. The next thing I recommend is that someone, and you may rotate, it might be the person whose house you're cleaning, that somebody gets a rental U-Haul van. And they're usually about $20 for the day, plus gas or plus miles. And so work that out with the local U-Haul place. I don't know what they do there. But you want to make sure that you have a van so that as you cart this stuff away, you can then take it to the landfill, or you can take it to the dump, or you can take it to the thrift store, or whatever it is that you're dispersing it, right? There's a place for it. But if you know a van is showing up, and you know that you have 8 friends that are showing up, you're going to be there. And you might even have coffee for them. Maybe you order pizza or something like that. Maybe the person whose house you're cleaning that week pays for the pizza and the van, right? But then everybody shows up and everybody helps, and it becomes this weekend warrior project where everyone helps everyone else. And because you have a network group inside your Facebook, all during the week you can be checking in with each other on what's going on, who needs what supplies you need, what to be on the lookout for, if there are family members that are going to be helping you as well, things like that. And so you can navigate those situations as a group, but you guys will become the best of friends. Now, having said that, there is one rule that before you do a hoarding overhaul program, you must all commit to this one rule. It will not work if you do not follow this one rule. And the one rule is no one can take home anything that was cleaned up or removed from the property that day. No one takes anything home, okay? Everyone goes home empty-handed for all the obvious reasons, right? But you have to agree to that before you show up to the hoarding job. Everyone goes home empty-handed. And that must be a rule of your Facebook group. It must be a rule of every work project that you do. This way you're going to get a bunch of volunteer help. You're going to make a bunch of friends. All of you are going to be in this for the same reasons, and you will all hold accountability to each other to not get back in the situation that got you here right now. Does that make sense? All right, it's a super great idea. I want you to keep me posted. Let me know if you become a part of a hoarding overhaul group. I'm here rooting for you. I would love to be part of your group. Maybe I can give you some ideas or pointers as we go. All right, leave your comments and questions in the notes below. Until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.